I got top 4 in a tournament playing the new Shark deck. With the new cards, this deck can do some powerful plays like a free material Caesar, ultimate Leo setup, Dweller, Xyz block, and other things too. This will likely be the deck I play for the WCQ. Hello, I hope you're having a perfectly balanced day. Today's video will demonstrate how to build the deck, followed by some gameplay. For more content on the TCG, Duel Links, and Master Duel, consider pressing the big red button and leaving a comment down below. But with no further ado, enjoy! There is this new card at the card trader as well, but I do not think it's very good because it's just a worse level 5 Buzzsaw Shark. This is my top 4 list. I only have 2 droplets, but I would cut Book of Moon for a third one. And I would also consider replacing one Chalice with a right-hand Shark, just because you can summon it off Buzzsaw Shark to make your rank 4 battle immune. The skill is very good, and like the new Zexal skill, it has 2 effects and both are twice per duel. You can activate the first effect by shuffling a card back into your deck, and it allows you to set a fish from your hand to search a fish from your deck. The second part of the skill can be used if you control a Bisplash, or only your opponent controls a monster. And it lets you add an Xyz card or MST. This means that when you go first, you can send Xyz Splash to turn a Bisplash into Caesar, and going second, you can just spawn an MST into your hand. So both parts of the skill are quite good. When you use that first part of the skill, it also spawns Panther Shark and Eagle Shark into the graveyard. And using the new Geyser Shark, we can reborn both of those monsters to make a Bisplash. We get to Geyser Shark through Lifeless Leafish. Since I don't think that Giant Hand is amazing, I play a Utopia engine instead. This is a more defensive rank 4 engine because as opposed to 1 negate on a monster, you end up with 2 with the Ultimate Leo and the Twin Saber. However, this engine requires 2 bricks, and while we can shuffle 1 back for the skill, we still do not want to draw them. So that's why I pushed the deck count to 30. With Shaddoll and Utopia Zexal being at the top of the meta, I chose my tech cards to beat those decks. Crow isn't good into Utopia, but I expected to face way more Shaddoll in the tournament. Aside from Xyz Splash and MST, I played 2 other cards that are searchable with a skill. I search Xyz Block in matchups where this won't be so great, for example against Perform Mage or Subterra, and Xyz Import can be a nice option to search going second when you don't want to search MST. It can absorb a lot more monsters thanks to the high attack points of Crystal Zero. I played 2 Abyss to search a second time with the skill on turn 3, since I played 2 Geyser Shark to make 2. But I think I would take 1 out for a non-Falama Crystal Zero. As long as Resonator is still popular, I like Ken Gorgon. And then to unblock your main monster zone, you want to play either Vespernato or Nightmare Phoenix. The Phoenix unblocks 2 monster zones, but the piercing from Vespernato is quite nice as well. And then the last thing to mention is that you can play Mortuna, but be aware that you cannot set this card with a skill. Enjoy the gameplay! So this first game is from a game in Swiss, and I'm going to start by showing the full combo. And to get to the full combo, you pretty much have to open 2 out of Leaffish, Buzzsaw, and Lantern/Angler. So here we opened Leaffish and Lantern, so we can grab the missing Buzzsaw Shark. And then now we have all the pieces to end on 3 different Xyz interruptions. So these are going to make the Abyss Splash, set up the Caesar, and when you want to play around Nibiru, you can do the Splash Engrave to make Caesar earlier, but by doing it in their turn, we play around Droplet if we're also going for Dweller, which I will explain in a moment. Make the Utopia. The cool thing about the Utopia engine is that this then becomes a free card to shuffle back next turn, or if you play a card like Had a Life Barrier or another kind of discard trap, then you can use that to just discard the double or nothing, because it's not really going to be doing too much for you anyway. The way you play on Droplet is by doing Dweller first, because then if you have Droplet, it would chain to Droplet to negate these, and even if they Droplet you there, they do stop the Dweller and the on-field effects of Ultimate Leo, but they then have to deal with both the Pegasus and the Caesar even after you Droplet, because in a new chain you can then rank up into Caesar, so that you still have a pretty formidable board after you get hit by the Forbidden Droplet. Caesar, I know, isn't the greatest against the Before Mage deck, but I opened the Xyz block anyway, so it still has some use for negating the Exorcistic cards. Went to Michaelis, but they can't really play through the Xyz block given that they have no effect to activate in the graveyard here. One thing you might notice is that this deck is quite weak to mass board removal, so stuff like Dark Hole, Lava Golem, Book of Eclipse, those are the big weaknesses of this deck. And Droplet, not so much for how I just explained, but the other mass removal cards are a bit of an issue for this deck. But otherwise it's really, really good. I like this board a lot. So we have another game in Swiss here. This is against Shaddoll. And while this deck, it can feel a bit weird going first sometimes, because either you outright win with your board, because Caesar with 3 materials is crazy, or you just lose to a board breaker. But going second, you have a bit more flexibility with what you can do, because you know what you're playing against. It's already on the field. And you have that searchable MST to help you play into that board. So they're going to go into Artemis. Not everybody plays Artemis, some play the Equip spell instead, to be able to play a second copy of Abcolon. But this person's playing a bit of a non-standard extra deck, as you will see in a moment. I'm going to go through the normal construct into Wendy sets Ariel, which I thought we were going to be going for a Dweller when we did this, but they're actually going to make a Gallant Granite to search for Nibiru. Pingango Link 1, Construct add back to hand, set free pass. So quite a lot on their field, but we do have 2 Chalice to help beat their on-field interruptions. Send a splash to the graveyard because I don't really care about the Schism too much here. You can grab an MST, but I didn't really see much of a reason to. I felt like sending Splash was a bit better because we know they have Nibiru, so we can make Caesar if need be to play into that Nibiru. And they make Winder, and we just drop our second Chalice on the Winder. Xyz into Utopia double, and I moved into the battle phase here because this was our 4th summon, so we go end of main phase. They cannot Nibiru. Nibiru can only be used in the main phase, so I go into the battle phase and then just use the effect of double to summon, because a cool win condition that you have against Shaddoll is they will quite often end on Gravity Controller, so you can just make the Ultimate Leo in the main monster zone, and then that will normally just be lethal over the GX controller. There we go. Able to use that Gravity Controller as a portal to their life points. So for the last one we have the game 2 of my top 8 game. And this is going first against Tri-Brigade. We open a very Leafish heavy hand here, which is fine because it's still a combo, it just isn't a full combo. It's only a full combo if you open up 2 of that Leafish, Buzzsaw, and then Lantern / Angler. Right, the Abyss Splash, we're not going to be playing around Nibiru because we know they can't play Nibiru. So instead we're going to be playing around Droplet in the same way that we mentioned earlier. We're going to keep that Buzzsaw Shark on the field because if it lives to turn 3, then this ends up being really good for follow-up, having this on the field already. Set 1 pass, and now in the draw phase we go Dweller. Check for Droplet, it resolves, so now we go Trap, make Caesar. Because if we make for Caesar first and then Dweller, we int really hard into Droplets and lose way too many cards when we need to. Okay, screw to draw 2, Rescue Cat, Caesar. And then this game really showcases how oppressive Caesar can be when they do not draw an out to us. Fraxel effects, Caesar. Then we go Keros effect, and Keros effect, Caesar. Just completely trading with their entire hands, more or less. And we go set card, which you can probably assume is going to be the Revolt because I didn't see any delay on their turn. Skill set 1, search 1. So we only have to play through a Charade Banish here. Which we can do quite easily with the Utopia double. Even though the monster cannot attack directly. Just go into Ray, and then they go Forgotten Summon to not have it wants to be negated, which is fine, because we already had Droplet face down anyway. Make Shurig. Shurig effects chain Droplets, and then that's just GG. But yeah, thank you for watching, hopefully you enjoyed and or found this video useful. This was recorded offline, but you can find me playing live on Twitch. If you go into the Discord and check the upcoming live stream channel, in there you can see when the next stream will be. But yeah, thank you, have a perfectly balanced rest of your day, and adios.